Hello, this is Daniel Asher with the Developing Daniel Asher podcast. Uh, Here on Podomatic, you can upload the file like usual, like other podcast services, but what they do that's different is you can schedule your episode for later on. So I'm going to record this here on camera so that I can upload it on YouTube and then later on add it to here on Podomatic. So what I'm gonna do is it's gonna look back on on the Peacock app to see, okay, what was the last what's the last date I spoke about when I spoke about WWE Superstars. Hmm. And my favorite thing about using the network app, which in a few weeks is going to be Netflix. But my favorite thing about using the app that they have network on is that you get to look at it on a phone, on the computer, or on an iPad, and you can record it here. That's what I like about it. Hmm. Ordinarily, I'd let y'all know what time I'm going to be um, scheduling this episode for on Podomatic, but I'm not sure right now, so that's why I'm not letting y'all know a time yet. Go to continue watching. Hold on. No, I'm just trying to understand because it's so it'd be aggravating if I didn't know what to expect from this app. This could be so aggravating. But I am glad though that when they, the time being, the network's on Peacock app. So what I'm glad is I got to add shows like WWE Superstars from the 1990s. Got to add that show on my stuff section. Here it is. I have to go all the way back to January January of '94. That would be, oh yeah. Okay, this thing's very hard. Oh yeah, I see now. It's the second episode of Superstars from '94. And I guess because I looked at it on the TV, instead of either the website on the desktop or on the phone app, but I had to look when I looked back at it on the pod on the Peacock TV app. It showed that it was still under the watching section for the first match, and I had already watched the first two or three matches, plus the promo from Johnny Polo and the Quebecers about their title defense, both in the Raw 1 Year Anniversary and Royal Rumble '94. So that's why I wanted to mention that. Now, I I don't want to ruin anything for anybody because it takes the fun away, but I will say this. Okay, many years ago now, I met former WWE superstar Rodney Mack at a Cajun Fitness here in the city and state where I live, Eunice, Louisiana. And he's on Facebook. For anybody who's on Facebook, goes by the name Rodney Begnaud. Begnaud. Now, for people who are not from Louisiana. And he had encouraged me to practice talking in character. So that's what this podcast is about. So before I do that, let me there it is. Let me set up the phone like that. Let me do this with my cards. Okay. Okay, so Daniel Asher here, the dealer, shuffling cards. What I wanted to say to everybody is I would watch Monday Night Raw as a teenager, maybe even an early adult. I'm trying to remember the time frame here in my mind. But Jerry the King Lawler, when he was still doing commentary every week with Jim Ross or Michael Cole at that time, he had his laptop like what I have here underneath the TV and the TV stand. And he used to bring that on TV in case an emergency happened. Say he went on the WWE website and let Jim Ross and the rest of the audience know that there is an announcement earlier that there is a surprise happening on Raw. So, what I wanted to do was just say this. Because Jerry Lawler is always would always have his computer around with him, or his laptop as it's called, I thought I would take a deck of cards like this, because this is the biggest part of my future gimmick, so to speak, is that I love to play cards, I love to play solitaire. So if I have to go through the expense of pre-recording promos, I'm going to use a deck of cards like this, and I'm going to shuffle like this. And then I'm going to be doing like I'm doing like that. And I'm going to be ending by let the games begin. That would be my catchphrase, so to speak. So, what I will do is say this. Last thing I spoke about was how Jacques Rougeau of the Quebecers, he and his tag team partner Pierre were being interviewed by Jacques' own brother Raymond Rougeau. And he said, and I mentioned this in my last episode also, that sometimes brothers don't always get along. Jacques said in real life, he that was an inside joke because he and his brother Raymond have a hard time getting along. I read that in an interview once. Anytime he and Raymond get together for an autograph signing, they have to not talk because they usually get in an argument. So that was a perfect comment to make about why they stood a better chance of getting along than Owen and Brett did. Well, let's say that somebody was to say something like that in today's day and age. I would say this. Well, brothers may not always get along, but but just because they don't always get along, that does not mean that it's going to be an easier time for y'all to keep y'all's titles. So, in other words, I would want to be as simple as I could be because sometimes people respond more to simple things than anything else, and today people complicate everything. If you simplify things, people usually like it better. So that would be my. I've always been a fan of the. I was a fan of the overall product of wrestling since I've been about 3 years old. But as far as actually portraying sorry, I'm seeing a new commercial. I didn't know this existed. But this new Slim Jim commercial made it look like Randy Savage was alive, doing a modern day version of Snap It to a Slim Jim. That's why I was pausing because I was like, I didn't see this before. Tatanka was cutting a promo about what happened the week before when he went against the same um, the same jobber that Bret Hart beat earlier. And I think he was telling everybody not to take steroids. So that was the message by the WWE. Out next is the Intercontinental Champion Razor Ramon. By this time was already starting his storyline with Shawn Michaels. So this is interesting to see this this matchup right here. Whoever his opponent is still has his coat on, or jacket, whatever it's called. Chris Duffy. I don't know this for a fact, but if I had to guess, I'd say that Chris Duffy was heavily influenced by Jerry Lawler because he had the full all-in-one sing singlet with just a single strap over it, and it was connected to pants and looked like shorts with it. I'm not sure, and that would look like something that Jerry Lawler would wear. That's why I say that. Yes, into the corner with Razor. Razor takes the strap off, slaps him, chops him a couple of times, throws him across the ring with hip toss, then he clotheslines him over the top rope. Goes out after him, throws him in the ring. Eye rake by Duffy. Razor pulled the rope so that Duffy would go over. Throws Duffy in the ring. Gets in there himself. Irish whip. Elbow. Picks him up. Scoop slam. Stump. And even though the story with Shawn Michaels just started, it goes for almost like the Regal stretch where you put your opponent's leg behind each other. Instead of going where you pick his hand up, he just went back like that. From that looks more like it's to punish him more than anything. Just knocked Chris Duffy on his butt with the right hand. Goes for the choke slam. Hmm. They usually do they show a side close up picture on the top left hand corner of the screen with IRS saying why he believes he's going to beat Razor for the title, the Royal Rumble. Sets him up, does Razor straight down. Looks like 2, 3. I'll throw the bell. Hmm. Speaking of video promos or vignettes, they're airing a promo slash vignette of Quang, which is a martial arts master coming to the WWE. They go to a Royal Rumble report. No, a WrestleMania. No, it is Royal Rumble report. Todd Pettengill this time. Okay, didn't say anything because um, Lex Luger was saying once again how thankful he was to the fans and Jack Tunney for adding him to the Royal Rumble match. Then they re-aired the footage of Cornette's speech about the casket, and I already spoke about that. Because I don't want to be too political on this. Because I don't want to be too political, that's why I didn't mention anything about about the about the president who was just elected. I don't want to mention anything because I don't want to be too political, but yeah, I didn't need to say anything this time because I thought, why don't I respond to something that I already know is being said? Come back, they promote the recent WWE magazine, and they show how there was an interview with Doink in there, Doink the Clown. Brian Walsh is in the ring, ready for his opponent, or waiting for his opponent, Bam Bam Bigelow with Luna Vachon. See what he does here. Lockup gets Walt Brian into the corner. To okay, he doesn't let go, but he pulls him away from the ropes and throws him across. Away from the corner and throws him across. He jumps over Bigelow's head, kicks him with his feet, doesn't stop Bigelow, who hits him with the clothesline and hits him across the forehead. Hits him with a couple of what looks like headbutts standing up. Another headbutt. Scoop slam. Snapmare. Let's see. He's doing a rear chin lock at the moment. I don't know this for a fact, but I think they had um, one of those makeup artists draw some of those. I'm not sure what it's called, but I think they had some a makeup artist draw some stuff on Luna's face, look like a tattoo. Irish whip. Let's see. Brian moves out the way. Bam Bam goes up the. Oh, he went for something, but he missed Brian. Brian goes on jumps on his neck and shoulders so they could try look like what Bret Hart would call the victory roll, but Bigelow's smart enough to fall back with the electric chair. Let's see what he does here. On the ropes. Diving headbutt. Looks like 2, 3. Doink coming out with what looks like his play set, I guess. I'm not sure what it's called. Play wagon. Okay, they prank that throwing plays on them is marbles, so they could trip. The rest of the show is used to promote the pay-per-view, the advertisement for the show, and I think they were finished. I think Undertaker was finishing up the special made casket he was making for Yokozuna. They promote next week's matches. The next episode I choose to talk about is going to be the Monday Night Raw following this. So I'm going to stop it right here because I don't want to lose um, storage right here. So I'm going to stop right here to make sure it's a little quicker. Thank you and goodbye.